Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Flame Emperor episode number 310 based on novel. So let's start. After a few hours, Xiao Gui woke up, and Xiao Yang, under the control of the tyrannical space of the old ghost of the Earth Spirit, slowly came to the boundary of the Earth Spirit Institute. This is the Earth Spirit Academy. Is this too huge? Xiao Yang couldn't help but be surprised when he saw this, because what is the realm that is reflected in front of Xiao Yang at this time, and the area of this realm is probably larger than the 4 continents of Yanhunshan. Area is huge. In front of him was an incomparably gigantic city. There were various buildings in the city, and there was an endless stream of people. In addition to the countless desolate atmospheres and endless land outside the city, it was a vast area that was prohibitive. It's a bit familiar. Xiao Gui frowned, then looked around. For some reason, he always felt that he had been here before, but every time he thought about the specific reason, a burst of thoughts would come out of his mind. The severe pain caused Xiao Gui to give up temporarily. 2 little guys, welcome you to join the big family of Earth Spirit Academy. This is the interior of the Earth Spirit Academy. The overall area of the Earth Spirit Academy may be larger than that of Yanhunshan, but this is a realm that was torn apart by the Master of the Soul, and it is more stable than the ordinary plane continent. And in the Earth Spirit Academy, there are also many vassal forces. They are headed by our Earth Spirit Academy. The Earth Spirit Old Ghost smiled slowly. When the 2 heard the words, they were suddenly dumbfounded, but in front of the 2, they suddenly appeared in a city. The area of this city is extremely large, and I am afraid it covers an area of 100 kilometers. In the city, there are countless tyrannical breaths. Emerging, obviously shows that the number of strong people in the city is extremely large. Headmaster, you're back. After a short while, the space under the ground in front of the old ghost and the 3 of them wriggled, and a male figure slowly appeared, and said politely, "What a tyrannical guy, this strength, I am afraid it has reached the level of a 4-star fighting immortal." Xiao Yang looked at the man in front of him, secretly surprised. "Take them down to rest. In addition, inform a few headmasters that we need to hold a meeting in the Spiritual Academy." As soon as the voice fell, the old ghost of Earth Spirit said lazily, "Spiritual Court?" Xiao Yang heard the words and immediately asked in confusion. "This junior brother, I am Qin Jun from the Ling Institute, ranked 4th, you can call me senior brother. You don't know, the Earth Spirit Court is divided into the Earth Court and the Spirit Court too. Among the second court, the Earth Court has the most attractive strength and resources, but if you want to join it, you have to pay a lot of money. Ling Yuan is next." Qin Jun said with a smile, although Xiao Yang is only in the middle stage of the 3-star fighting immortals, it must be unusual for a guy to be so carefully instructed by the old ghost of the Earth Spirit. "The Earth Court and the Spirit Court. I don't know what's the difference between the 2. Xiao Yang and Xiao Gui nodded slowly. In the courtyard, most of the strong people live, and they manage many strong people who send talents to the lower realm and the shrine of the Lord of Souls. Most of the spiritual courtyards are fresh blood that has just joined the spiritual courtyard. Only those whose strength has undergone transformation can they be qualified to join the Earth Court. However, if you join the court, you will undoubtedly step into the door of the strong. After all, the strong who can join the court will be able to sit on the master of the plane sooner or later, and master the power of the dazzling plane, which will last forever." Qin Jun said with a smile, "But the power of the plane seems to be quite attractive. Take them down to rest. As for the reward you won on the Sky of Shadows, I will give it to you tomorrow." As soon as the voice fell, the body of the old ghost disappeared directly here, heading towards the center of the city. 2 junior brothers, come with me." Qin Jun also laughed when he saw the whereabouts of the old ghost master, and then took Xiao Yang and the 2, the space under his feet squirmed, and after a while, they were successfully settled. In the city. This city is the base of the Earth Spirit Academy. It is heavily defended, and the garrison of the strongest people in the city is also staggering. As for other auctions, mercenary meetings, etc., it is also a must. It is complete, and in its city, there are countless vassal people, who are obviously living under the protection of the Ling Yuan. In addition, it is the powers on the vast land in the realm of the Earth Spirit Academy. Although these forces are not as strong as the Earth Academy and the Spirit Academy, they are also slowly growing under the protection of the Earth Spirit Academy, is the solid back under the Earth Spirit Court. At this moment, in a hall in the center of the city, 3 men slowly appeared and sat around the wooden table. The auras of these 3 people were actually the same as those of the poisonous demon empress, But the strange thing was that these 3 men were very impressive. It is a human body, not a soul body. Although the Li soul domain is divided into 5 major courtyards, among the 5 major courtyards, the original ghosts of the ghost world will try their best to cultivate human bodies. It is the soul domain of the highest ruling class in the ghost world, and it is also dominated by humans. However, even if ghosts cultivated human bodies, as ghosts, they are still unable to devour the power of the most masculine holy flame. Earth Spirit Old Ghost, you can be counted back. I don't know what kind of disciples we brought to our spiritual academy this time. In the hall, the 3 middle-aged men smiled slowly, and there was a hint of relief in their voices. The 3 men are the 3 generals in the spiritual academy today. The old ghost of the Earth Spirit, it is said that thousands of years ago, he had reached the perfect strength of the 6-star fighting immortal, and he had a free and easy nature. He hardly taught his disciples. Unlimited. Luo Zhamu, this guy is said to be a peak powerhouse of the wood attribute. He once used his own strength to forcibly kill the Emperor-level aliens from outside the territory. Therefore, his reputation is quite high in the spiritual academy. Jiang Wen, this guy's strength is not well known, but his strength is vaguely suppressing the 2, and his teaching methods are quite special. Except for the director and vice president of the spiritual academy who can stabilize him, other strong people are not as good as he. After all, they are divided into 2 courtyards in the spiritual courtyard. In the second courtyard, every time they select disciples, the underground courtyard occupies the majority, which makes the situation of their spiritual courtyard quite bad, and now it is their turn to absorb new students. Blood, they naturally pay special attention. Forget it. That little girl of the reincarnation was actually discovered by the Lord of Li Soul, which caused the powerhouse of our 4 courtyards to run away this time. The old ghost of Earth Spirit couldn't help rolling his eyes. Oh. It seems that it's really just like what the Dean said. It can't escape the perception of the Master of the Soul. But the Lord of Souls has been stuck in that shackle for too long. I don't know if I can break through. However, the 2 guys who joined our spiritual academy this time, although they are only in the middle stage of the 3-star fighting immortal and the 3-star fighting immortal consummation, but one of the little guys has the existence of holy flame. The ghost's eyes slowly became hot, and an extremely tyrannical wave suddenly emerged from the corner of his mouth. What? Have holy flames? Hearing the old ghost of Earth Spirit say so lightly, Luo Zhamu and Jiang Wen slammed the table and stood up suddenly, a surprise flooded into their heart. Among the 2 fresh bloods this time, someone has a holy flame. Is this true? Jiang Wen's expression suddenly became strange, and he said solemnly, exactly. That guy in the middle stage of the 3-star fighting immortals, named Xiao Yang, seems to have the fire heart Tianyang ranked 35th. And when I was selecting disciples in the 4 great courts, I deliberately released the aura of holy flame to let other powerhouses notice. The old ghost of Earth Spirit laughed. What you're doing is really good. Ha ha ha. Jiang Wen laughed immediately after listening to the old ghost of Earth Spirit acting like this. There is holy flame in the fresh blood. This news is known by the powerhouses of the other 3 courtyards, and they will definitely hold on to it. If it is known by the Master of the Soul, I am afraid that this guy is in danger. How can this be a good thing? Rosamu seemed quite puzzled and asked. Laro Luo, you don't know something. Although our 4 academies jointly maintain the entire Li's Hun realm, there are many open and secret fights with each other, and the news of Xiao Yang's possession of holy flame was known by the other 3 academies, and they would definitely not report to the strong in their academies. After all, once this matter is discovered by other powerhouses and attracts the attention of the Lord of the Soul, then the status of our spiritual academy will skyrocket because of the holy flame on this little guy. So even if they know that there is a disciple with holy flame in our Earth Spirit Academy, they can only hold it in their stomachs. Jiang Wen said with a free and easy smile. It seems that this time, God really blesses our spiritual home. A master of the holy flame, his achievements in the future are also limitless, and maybe we can devour other regions under his leadership, and in the ghost realm, only we will exist in the ghost realm. That's seen, but... After speaking, Jiang Wen was also looking forward to it. By the way, that little guy is from Yinhunshan. The competition rewards in Yinhunshan have not been distributed. I don't know what rewards will be distributed this time. After a while, the old ghost of the Earth Spirit asked. Let them go to Ling Shan to practice for a month, and, since he is currently in the middle stage of the 3-star fighting immortals, take out a Doxian pill from the pill room and treat it as a rewarding disciple for your master. Jiang Wen laughed as soon as he finished speaking. Then this kid will be taught by me. The old ghost of Earth Spirit also laughed when he heard the words. The so-called Shan mountain is full of energy from heaven and earth, and many powerful people have fallen into it during his lifetime. Entering it to cultivate may be able to obtain some great opportunities. By the way, the girl under your door seems to have just entered Shan to practice. After a while, Jiang Wen seemed to remember something and asked slowly, "Don't mention it. Some time ago, the master of the hospital gave her a marriage, but the girl didn't listen to her life and she went straight to practice in Shan, which made me anxious." Luo Zamu couldn't help rolling his eyes when he heard the words. "Let's do it today. It's all gone." As soon as the voice fell, the three slowly disappeared. The night was silent. The next day, the sun was shining, and a new day was coming. Big brother. Early in the morning, Xiao Gui came to Xiao Yang's house and knocked on the door. "What's wrong?" Xiao Yang pushed the door open to let Xiao Gui come in, and immediately set up a tyrannical soul barrier, and asked carefully, obviously since Xiao Gui entered the spirit courtyard, his mind has not been quite right. "Brother, there seems to be a voice in my body guiding me to the so-called underground courtyard. In the courtyard, there seems to be a voice calling me." Xiao Gui's eyes were particularly red, and he said solemnly, "The Earth Court and the Spirit Court are separated from the north to the south. It takes a lot of time to get to the Earth Court from here, and it also requires a personal letter from the headmaster, so it's quite troublesome." Xiao Yang thought slowly in his heart. "But don't worry, eldest brother will definitely help you solve this matter." Looking at the guy in front of him, Xiao Yang suddenly comforted him slowly. "Well, thank you eldest brother." After Xiao Gui finished speaking, he immediately backed out. "Ling Yuan, it's really a long memory." Watching Xiao Gui leave, the voice of the Soul Eater suddenly emerged. "Master, it is said that the Chiju Soul Induction Cup is in the Earth Spiritual Academy. Can the master sense any trace of it?" Xiao Yang hurriedly asked. Although Xiao Yang didn't know what the purpose of this thing was, it could heal the source of the wounds on Soul Eater's body. Thinking about it, it wouldn't be a mortal thing. It might still be guarded by the strong, so the top priority now is to find it first. Its specific location is being planned. Sensing a little bit, that thing seems to exist in the courtyard. However, there are many strong people in that courtyard. With my current strength, I can't do it hard, I can only outsmart it. After thinking about it, the Lord of Soul Eater said, because at this time, relying on his induction, the land in the courtyard, there is a superpower with the same strength as himself. If he rashly exposes his identity, I am afraid that both himself and Xiao Yang will be in deep danger because of this. The underground courtyard. It seems that this matter can't be rushed. After Xiao Yang finished speaking, he also slowly sorted out, then opened the door and walked out. Xiao Yang. As soon as he walked out, he saw the figure of the old ghost coming towards him. "Senior," Xiao Yang said slightly when he saw this. "Where's Xiao Gui? I'll take you to the reward location today." The old ghost of Earth Spirit said casually, but now his eyes on Xiao Yang are very tame. After all, this guy has holy flame on him. After teaching him, his achievements are limitless. Moreover, the whereabouts of the Lord of Li Soul are quite strange, so the old ghost of the Earth Spirit deliberately released the power of holy flame to Ju Qi and others, and the purpose was also to protect Xiao Yang. "Big brother, what's the matter?" Xiao Gui said in a daze. He left Xiao Yang's house before he went back to sleep. "Senior." Gently pushing the door open, Xiao Gui suddenly said in surprise when he saw Xiao Yang and the old ghost. "Let's go, Senior Earth Spirit will take us to the reward land." Xiao Yang said with a smile. "Let's go, two little guys." After a while, the pupil of the old ghost of Earth Spirit also flashed a tinge of pain, but in order not to let Xiao Yang notice anything, he could only reluctantly take out a fighting immortal pill and enter Shan. Qualification. Although this kind of qualification is not difficult for the old ghost, but the price of a place is quite expensive. In the area of this spiritual academy, there is no need to fly anymore, and for this kind of 6-star fighting immortal level headmaster, no matter where he goes, it is a matter of waving his hands. Boom. With a slow wave of the old palm of the old ghost, a space channel suddenly appeared. "It's a space channel again." Seeing this, Xiao Yang couldn't help frowning. Obviously, in this kind of boundary space, there is no need to move or fly between each other, but using the space channel can easily reach the destination. "What are you looking at? Let me in." Seeing Xiao Yang and Xiao Gui frowning, the old Earth Spirit laughed suddenly, then raised his foot and instantly kicked the two in. "The trip to Shan, you two little fellows, don't disappoint me." After speaking, the figure of the old ghost of the Earth Spirit also entered the space passage. Boom. After a short while, Xiao Yang and Xiao Gui suddenly came to a mysterious area surrounded by white mist. This area seems to be in the void, a vast expanse of whiteness, but behind the expanse of whiteness, there is a terrifying energy fluctuation. Where is this? Xiao Gui couldn't help asking, because with Xiao Gui's perception, this place was no longer in the big city of the Lingyuan, but was led by the old ghost of the earth spirit to a space. Senior. Xiao Yang's dazzling soul power spread out, but he found nothing, so he could only speak softly. You can just call me old, the old ghost said. After all, the two guys were always taking one bite at the old ghost. They were quite displeased, and immediately said, as for this, it's Ling Shan. After a while, D. Laro's figure slowly appeared beside Xiao Yang and the two. Old D. When the two heard the words, they also spoke happily, but at this time, there were only 3 of them, and the 3 of them were walking on the road, surrounded by white fog that could not see 5 fingers. Let's go to register first, and then you can practice in Lingshan. This Lingshan mountain is a holy place for cultivation. D. Laro's eyes penetrated the endless white fog, looking at the Nwoda mountain behind him, and said softly. As soon as the words fell, the old man moved directly in this white fog. Xiao Yang and Xiao Gui looked at each other, and immediately followed. After a while, a group of 3 people slowly penetrated the endless white fog and came to the foot of a mountain. There is 1 person and 1 table. The figure is quite lazy, but on that table, there are the 4 treasures of the study. To register. Du and Fan, don't let me be lazy, you brat. In an instant, a sharp breath emerged from D.I. Laro's body, which immediately cheered the sleepy lazy figure. D. Laro, why do you have the leisure to come here? The mountain guard named Du and Fan, a 4-star fighting immortal powerhouse, who is responsible for guarding Lingshan all the year round. Every time the disciples of the Lingyuan enter or leave Lingshan, are subject to his registration. After all, although Lingshan is under the protection of the Lingyuan, it is inevitable that some other forces in the realm of the earthly Lingyuan are eyeing it. Therefore, a protective shield can be set up to protect the precious cultivation resources. I brought 2 disciples who just joined to come to Lingshan to practice. Register early and let them in. D. Laro said casually. Yes. 2. Please tell me your strengths and names. If you allow me to register, you can enter Lingshan. Du and Fan didn't dare to be negligent when he heard the words, and smiled directly at the 2 disciples, Du and Fan's seniority. Although they are taller than the 2 of them were actually able to bring D. Laro personally, which is enough to show how much their spiritual academy attaches importance to it. After all, the strength of this D. Laro is extremely tyrannical in the spiritual academy, and there are very few disciples under him. To be favored by him, the talent and strength required are naturally considerable. Xiao Yang, the strength in the middle stage of Samsung Dozian. Xiao Yang nodded lightly when he heard this, and then smiled at him. The middle stage of the 3-star fighting immortals? Du and Fan heard the words, his eyes were slowly startled, but he was not too dull. He picked up the pen in his palm and quickly recorded Xiao Yang's information. Xiao Gui, the 3-star battle of immortals is complete. After a while, Xiao Gui also spoke. Old D, it's all right. After a short while, Du and Fan registered the information of the 2 and smiled. 2 people, this is the first time you have entered Lingshan to cultivate. The only thing you need to pay attention to is that there are many creatures in this Lingshan. These creatures exist because of the splendid energy of Lingshan. Don't be confused by its surface. Yes. Du and Fan said with concern. Yes. The 2 nodded. At that time, Du and Fan didn't say much. His palm suddenly poked towards the white fog behind him, and suddenly green lines, like a painter, completely removed the white fog, and suddenly, in the center of the white fog, a green door appeared. Go in. If the absorption energy is saturated, then exit. This guy will always be here, don't be brave. D. Laro ordered. Okay. Xiao Yang and Xiao Gui nodded slowly when they heard the words, and then stepped directly into it. It's time for me to go too. Watching the 2 leave, the old figure disappeared from here. These 2 little guys can be so favored by the old man. It seems that they should have some incredible talents. After all, the old man has extremely ruthless eyes. Du and Fan looked at the 3 who disappeared, and slowed down. He murmured slowly, but on the white paper in his hand, in addition to the names of Xiao Yang and Xiao Gui, and even above them, there was a woman named Lu Manglan, who was full of 3-star fighting spirits. At this time inside Lingshan. Humph. Ancestor Luo is really too much. He actually wants to promise that marriage. If you want me to marry a guy I've never met before, just dream. At this moment, a woman said righteously on the branches of the towering tree. There was a childishness in the woman, which was strange and quirky. General appearance, very cute. However, our Li Huanyu is really not fun at all. We know every day that we should let me practice, and we won't let me go out to play. I heard that it is quite fun in the human world, and we are also drawn from the human world. It would be great if we could return to the human world. The woman sat on the branch with her feet on the branch. Swing back, looking expectant. In an instant, before the woman could react, a figure suddenly descended from the sky and fell directly from the woman. Did something fall in front of me just now? The woman's eyes slowly flickered with a look of doubt. When I was leisurely just now, a black shadow seemed to fall down from in front of me, and that black shadow seemed to resemble a person. Will old ancestor Luo send someone to arrest me? But this breath is not right. The breath of the guy below is extremely unfamiliar, and it seems that he has never seen it before. After a while, the woman above the branch wondered. No, go down and have a look. As soon as the voice fell, the woman immediately left the branch. This guy has such a strange aura. This kind of aura seems to have been vaguely seen in the residences of the ancestors of Luo and the old ghosts, the same aura, but this kind of aura is well protected by them. I remember it seems to be some kind of clan pattern. Force. After a short while, the woman came to the ground, but she saw that the man in front of him was a little embarrassed, and even the middle of his eyebrows was wrapped in black lines. The lines were quite mysterious and obscure, making the woman there is a trace of familiarity. After all, this kind of fluctuation, when I was young, I was fortunate enough to see it in the residences of Luo ancestors and the old ghosts of the earth, but this kind of breath was regarded as life by them. Protect. This woman is Lu Manglan from Luo Zamu's door in Lingyuan, and she is also Luo Zamu's great-granddaughter. As for the unconscious man in front of him, it was Xiao Gui, not Xiao Yang. At the moment Luo Manglan was surprised, the man lying in front of him flicked his fingers, showing signs of awakening. Who are you? What are you doing? Suddenly, the corners of Xiao Gui's eyes loosened, and he slowly woke up. He suddenly found that the clan lines between his eyebrows suddenly appeared, and he hurriedly stared at Luo Manglan with terrifying eyes, shouting. This clan pattern is related to their Xiao clan, and it is also related to the life and death of his parents, so Xiao Gui is naturally very surprised, and Luo Manglan looks at the lines on his forehead in front of him, and seems to recognize it. This made Xiao Gui quite uneasy. Humph, you are really biting Lu Dongbin. You don't know good people. I obviously saved you, so forget it if you don't thank me. Instead, you scold me as soon as you wake up. If I hadn't been protecting you just now, I'm afraid you would have been devoured by the spirit beasts in this spirit mountain. Humph. I'm really mad at me. The woman heard the words, and immediately stomped her feet angrily, and then turned around to leave, obviously very angry at Xiao Gui's serious look. I'm sorry. Xiao Gui heard the words, glanced around, and found that there was indeed a lot of tyrannical aura in this huge mountain range. If it wasn't for the presence of the woman in front of him, I'm afraid that his own safety would also be a great hidden danger, just between his eyebrows. The family line at the place is extremely important, so there is just an injustice. Hey. Xiao Gui put away his clan pattern, and then looked at the woman softly. Humph. The woman seemed to disapprove when she heard the words, and then prepared to leave here on her own. Can I follow you? Seeing the woman preparing to leave here, Xiao Gui immediately lowered his head and asked in a very low voice, for fear that the woman would refuse. And even Xiao Gui didn't know that when he first opened his eyes and saw this woman, he was attracted by this guy. 3,000 blue silk fell down, and his black and beautiful hair matched with big watery eyes, quite endearing. Forget it, forget it. Seeing how honest Xiao Gui was in front of him, Luo Manglan didn't care, and for some reason, the disappearance of the family line between his eyebrows made Luo Manglan quite fond of this guy. This is not to say that Luo Manglan has the same power as Xiao Gui's clan pattern, but Luo Manglan's ancestor Luo Zamu and the old ghost of the earth have seen this thing many times in the depths of the residence, so there is a scene today. By the way, what are you doing here? Luo Manglan asked after a while. Obviously the remarks just now were just angry words. My eldest brother and I have just joined the Lingyuan, and the old man brought us to Lingshan to cultivate, saying that it was a reward for us. Xiao Gui heard the words and was immediately overjoyed and smiled. You are the disciples who just joined the Lingyuan. Then I am your senior sister. Come on, little junior brother, call me senior sister. At that time, Luo Manglan laughed suddenly, looking extremely happy. No, I'm older than you, I should call you junior sister. The next moment, Xiao Gui said, obviously even from the surface, it is enough to see that no matter their age or temperament, Xiao Gui ghost is bigger than Lu Manglan. You, said by Xiao Gui. Lu Manglan was out of breath and said dumbly, she was quite young, and her figure was quite thin, she looked only in her 20s, while Xiao Gui was clearly in her 30s. In addition to their tall stature, the two are more like brothers and sisters. Forget it. Since you are in Lingshan, let's practice hard. It just so happens that your strength is also a complete 3-star fighting immortal. Are you interested in giving it a try? Somewhere I found a treasure that is enough to break through the 4-star fighting immortal. After a while, Lu Manglan looked at Xiao Gui with anticipation, not knowing why. Since seeing the lines on Xiao Gui's eyebrows, there seems to be a soft feeling, although Lu Manglan doesn't know what it is. Let's go. When Xiao Gui heard the words, he immediately agreed. Obviously, although the veteran Dozian Dan was secretly hidden by them, Xiao Gui was obviously curious about this woman and immediately followed. Go. The two looked at each other, and immediately headed towards the depths of the mountain range. Another place. The sound of a branch breaking sounded, and suddenly there was a void in this mountain range, and Xiao Yang's figure also slammed into countless branches. The crack was accompanied by a black shadow, which also fell from the sky. It's really bad luck. Xiao Yang's figure was quite embarrassed. He slowly climbed up from the ground, and immediately patted the dust on his clothes and cursed. He thought there that just after entering from the entrance of Lingshan, a tyrannical space ripple appeared, and he and Xiao Gui were immediately separated, and the two figures were temporarily separated, but Xiao Yang knew that Xiao Gui was probably also in Lingshan at this time. I don't know how Xiao Gui is now. Xiao Yang said slightly. You kid, take care of yourself first. I have a hunch that Xiao Gui should have his father's power seal on him, so as long as he retrieves his lost memory, his strength will reach an astonishing level. The voice of the Soul Lord resounded on Xiao Yang. Obviously, Xiao Gui also had many hidden fluctuations. It seems that the courtyard is going to go there anytime, whether it's for the master, you or Xiao Gui. Xiao Yang heard this and laughed. Rest assured. Now this spirit mountain is full of energy, and you have a Dozian Dan on your body, so breaking through the 4-star Dozian is just around the corner. After a while, the Soul Eater said with a smile. As of now, in the middle of the 3-star fighting immortals, if I can break through the 3-star fighting immortal consummation, then I can use the fighting immortal pill to successfully break through the 4-star fighting immortal. However, in the middle 3-star fighting immortal stage, there is still more to come. The second level. Xiao Yang naturally felt the Dozian Dan Dao that had been quietly placed on his body at the beginning. Fighting immortal pill is the most powerful elixir that was researched by the Supreme Being, and its effect is also very obvious. As for the role of the fighting immortal pill, most powerhouses will choose to take it when the 3-star fighting immortal is complete. At that time, it is obviously quite easy to break through the 4-star fighting immortal. After all, in the fighting immortal, if there are not enough resources or opportunities, even if it is a small star, and it can be stuck for decades or even longer. However, although the fighting immortal pill is tyrannical, a person can only take it once in a lifetime, and it must be taken under the 4-star fighting fairy, otherwise it will lose its mysterious effect. In this spiritual mountain, there are countless energy bodies formed of pure energy, so as long as you defeat them, you can obtain extremely huge energy. That kind of power is best used to break through. Soul Eater looked at the majestic figure in front of him. The mountain peak also spoke slowly. Xiao Yang followed the voice of the Soul Eater and glanced in front of him, but found that this was an incomparably huge mountain range. It is full of obscure auras. Those auras are extremely tyrannical, but for the current Xiao Yang, they are extremely attractive. In this space, the power of the spirit beasts in the periphery is too weak. For me, it's not very helpful. Beside a river, Xiao Yang casually placed a flower that was comparable to the late stage of the human 3-star fighting immortal. After the demon cat spirit beast was resolved, a trace of gentle energy flowed into him, and he immediately shook his head. Obviously, although this trace of energy is tyrannical, it is obviously not enough to use it to break through the current Samsung Dozian late stage. It seems that we can only go to the depths of Lingshan. After a while, Xiao Yang slowly got up, and the ancient ruler of eternal fire was suspended on the palm of his hand. Under the cover of trees and rocks, they headed towards Lingshan. Lingshan, this is a special space, and this space was created by the great power, but I don't know why some energy bodies are continuously born, so the speciality of space is added, so the spirit beasts should also be pregnant. However, this Lingshan is quite peculiar. It stands in the center of countless forests, rivers, and ditches, a genuine Lingshan. In Lingshan, there are mountains and peaks, shrouded in countless white mists that cover the eyes, but among them, there are a series of tyrannical spirit beasts. If you can defeat these spirit beasts, you will naturally be able to get a lot of rewards. Among the spiritual academies, the reason for its high status is that the energy gained from practicing for several months is probably not as much as the energy obtained by killing a spirit beast. However, Lingshan also has limitations. You can only enter once a year. After all, although the energy of the spirit beast is huge, but it absorbs too much in a short time, it will also cause rejection. If it causes backlash, it is not good. Big man. It's very cold here, have you noticed? As Xiao Yang walked towards Lingshan, Xiao Gui and Lu Manglan suddenly appeared in front of Xiao Yang. As Lu Manglan and Xiao Gui walked towards Lingshan together, Lu Manglan also called Xiao Gui by another name, Big Man. Because of Xiao Gui's tall stature and somewhat dark skin, coupled with the tyrannical Samsung Dozian's complete strength, he was called such by Lu Manglan, and Xiao Gui also happily disapproved of this. After all, this girl made her feel very friendly. The two of them were in a quite hidden place in the Lingshan mountain. The two of them were in a dark passage under the Lingshan mountain, and the passage was clearly a rather strange scene. The secret passage is quite narrow, with a small stream in the center flowing in front of the two of them, and the two walked slowly along the stream, but on the surrounding walls, a trace of cold air emerged, making them shudder, and even at the bottom of the secret passage, there was a rather loud grunting sound diffused out, and it was unknown what kind of creature was making it. What sound? Xiao Yang was always alert to the surroundings, and immediately opened his mouth. Even when he heard the snoring, a surprise emerged. Obviously, the snoring contained quite a powerful force, which made Xiao Gui's heart faint. Feel uneasy. That snort, that's right here. Follow me. Lu Manglan was also delighted when she heard the words, and then moved quickly. Here, is it going wrong? After walking for a while, Xiao Gui immediately asked. Xiao Gui's temperament and Sanxing Dozian's perfect strength, in this situation, showed the difference between him and Lu Manglan. It should be right. I remember Ancestor Luo said that there is a rather tyrannical spirit beast under Lingshan. It is said that this guy guards a kind of precious treasure. As long as we obtain that kind of treasure and break through the 4-star fighting fairy, it's also extremely easy. At this time, looking at the gloomy environment and the gloomy walls around, Lu Manglan also slowly wrapped her fingers around and wondered, but she deliberately left some later words and did not tell all the news. I was afraid that Xiao Gui would feel timid after knowing the strength of that guy, so this time it would be in vain. She was originally the great-granddaughter of Headmaster Luo Zhamu's favored Yojia, so she naturally knew something about Lingshan, but she knew it was one thing, but she had never practiced it. Now she brought Xiao Gui to Daobao, even if it was as she was hesitant. After all, the strength of that spirit beast is a genuine 4-star fighting immortal. At best, the two of them are only a complete 3-star fighting immortal, so they hesitated for the time being. What kind of strength is that guy? Xiao Gui couldn't help but ask. It seems to be a 4-star fighting immortal. Lu Manglan said. 4-star fighting immortals. Don't worry, I will protect you from now on. Xiao Gui said with a grin, quite honest. Obviously, Xiao Gui has enough strength to deal with the 4-star fighting immortal, and Xiao Gui is also quite capable of dealing with the woman in front of him. I have a good feeling, so I want to show it. Well, let's be careful. Although Lu Manglan promised verbally, she was secretly vigilant. Obviously, she has been in the spiritual academy for a long time, and she has practiced for a long time. Naturally, her strength and combat power are much more tyrannical than Xiao Gui. The strength of the big man is the same, but the strength is definitely much more tyrannical. Hey, isn't this Xiao Gui? After a while, a cool breeze emerged, and Xiao Yang's figure suddenly came to this secret passage. After all, he had the guidance of the Soul Eater and Xiao Yang's tyrannical soul power, so the treasures here were also discovered by Xiao Yang. Even when I was in Tianming Mountain Villa, I never saw this guy look like this. It's interesting. Xiao Yang smiled slowly, and then quietly followed. At this time, Xiao Gui's tall stature played a very good role. With his tall stature, he directly stopped in front of Lu Manglan, and immediately covered up the dazzling chill, which warmed Lu Manglan's heart, obviously. This is the first time this guy is so close to his peers, and his heartbeat can't help speeding up a lot. After a while, Xiao Gui and Lu Manglan cautiously followed the place where the stream flowed, and Xiao Yang followed them vigilantly. If something happened to them, he would take action in time. This creek. After a while, Xiao Gui was the first to stop, then looked at the crystal-clear creek in front of him, and said, "In this secret passage, there is only a small stream in the center, and although the surrounding walls are cold, some luminous stones on the walls also embellish the entire secret passage, so you can clearly see the whole picture of the creek. What's going on?" Although Lu Manglan has a distinguished status, in the end, she is just a girl, so she doesn't know much common sense, so seeing Xiao Gui like this, she couldn't help but ask. "There's something wrong with this creek." At this moment, Xiao Gui's eyes were slowly fixed on the creek in front of him, and following Xiao Gui's actions, an extremely terrifying white cold air suddenly appeared in the creek. Slowly emerge. At the moment when the white cold air emerged, the temperature in this dark passage suddenly dropped. As soon as Xiao Gui's voice fell, the water in the creek suddenly trembled, and then, as if looking at an intruder, roared towards Xiao Gui and Lu Manglan. "Be careful." Although Lu Manglan's reaction speed was quite good, the dazzling fighting spirit all over her body suddenly urged, trying to stop these things, but her speed was actually half a beat slower than Xiao Gui, her defense had not been fully deployed, and suddenly Xiao the ghost's defense will arrive in an instant. A loud bang sounded abruptly, and a terrifying offensive was about to come. Suddenly, a strange black energy filled Xiao Gui's body, forming an extremely tyrannical black light shield in front of the two of them, which tightly protected them both. Boom! Countless streams in the creek burst suddenly, turning into extremely sharp ice cones, attacking Xiao Gui with bursts of cold light, and on the ice cone, a trace of cold light made people feel palpitation. Immediately, countless ice picks just came to Xiao Gui and hit the strange black shield. They were like moths fighting a fire, and they disappeared in an instant. At the same time, the water flow in the stream was temporarily suppressed by Xiao Gui's strange ghost energy. "Hey, how is the aura on this guy a ghost? Could this guy be an aboriginal inhabitant of the ghost world?" Looking at Xiao Gui who was so close and arrogant in front of him, Lu Manglan rolled her eyes and asked in doubt. It was obvious that there was a gloomy aura hidden in the dazzling ghost aura on Xiao Gui's body. The power is quite tyrannical, and this kind of breath is only possessed by some native residents of the ghost world, and those native residents are all outstanding existences. "It's all right." After struggling, Xiao Gui easily blocked these attacks, and immediately after confirming that the river was calm, he smiled at the woman in front of him. "It's really dangerous here." Lu Manglan nodded slowly when she heard the words. "There seems to be a cave below." After a while, as the stream returned to calm, a dark cave appeared not far away, and even a loud snoring sound came from it. What a tyrannical sense of oppression. Lu Manglan stared at the dark cave not far away, and immediately said, obviously that cave should be where this trip was, but there was a strong oppression hidden in this snoring, which made her quite discomfort. "Let's go, the following should be the habitat of the big guy, be careful." Lu Manglan was careful, but Xiao Gui made a good impression on him, but he didn't get into the ghost aura on his body, and the two slowly walked down. This brook doesn't seem to be that simple. Just as Xiao Gui and the two went down, Xiao Yang's figure appeared behind them, and he immediately bent down and stretched out his palm to face the brook. As soon as his palm touched the brook, a burst of chills penetrated his heart, causing the flames from Xiao Yang's body to appear on Xiao Yang's body involuntarily. "It's such a cold stream. I'm afraid the water in it is not an ordinary thing." Xiao Yang suddenly put his palms away, and then stared at the stream. The water was crystal clear, but the breath in it made Xiao Yang feeling terrified. "It seems that my guess is correct. The creatures living in this secret passage are probably the ice demon swordsman." After a short while, the phantom of the soul eater appeared, and he looked into the depths of the secret passage and muttered, "Ice demon swordsman? It is said that this is a very cunning soul beast, with a human-like form, and it has a deep control over the swordsmanship. Combined with the ice-type fighting spirit on its body, its strength is even more unfathomable." Xiao Yang heard the words, and his heart was also slow. Muttering, "It is obvious that this kind of soul beast has a fierce reputation, and Xiao Yang has known it for a long time. It seems that the so-called treasure is guarded by this guy." Xiao Yang also looked away from the stream and headed for the depths. In an instant, the corner of his mouth raised a smile. "This stream is not easy. It is said that the ice demon swordsman's body is like that of a human being, but like a human, he will regularly release some excess power to maintain the balance of power in his body. And this guy himself is the leader of the ice attribute, so the power in the body is discharged and gathered in the stream, and this is the scene." The Lord of Soul Eater analyzed. "That's true of the real ice demon swordsman, but it's just a spirit beast formed from an energy body. Logically speaking, it shouldn't have such a tyrannical power. But if this is true, I'm afraid the ice attribute power on this guy has fully reached the level of a small heaven. Xiao Yang also said solemnly. Okay, follow. As soon as he finished speaking, Xiao Yang also disappeared from here. After a while, Xiao Gui and Lu Manglan also appeared in the depths of the cave. Here, it's getting colder as you go down, and the snoring and oppression are getting stronger and stronger. Xiao Gui took the lead in the front, looked around, and said vigilantly. When the two heard the words, they looked at each other immediately, and then walked cautiously towards the bottom. It's here. After Shurenshi, Lu Manglan's eyes looked extremely solemn. She raised her fingers slightly, and pointed to the depths of the cave in front of her. This is. In an instant, Xiao Gui followed his fingers, his eyelids twitched violently, and a shock appeared in his heart. After a while, Lu Manglan also hurriedly stretched out her small hand and directly covered Xiao Gui's mouth and nose so as not to make Xiao Gui lose his voice, and then the two leaned against the edge of the cave. At this time, the depth of the cave where the two of them were located was quite small, only a few meters in size. A trace of silver spar appeared around the cave to light it up, and the boundless white cold air around it was filled with a chill. Even in the depths of the cave, a lake gathered by streams emerged, but in the lake, all the ice cubes existed, as if it was completely frozen, and even in the center of the ice cube lake, there was a tens of meters high. The mountain peaks uplifted high, and the mountain peak is made up of countless ice blocks. On top of it, an irregular crystal block that is about a few meters long is like a rock. It stands quietly. The two of them just saw this crystal block, and they suddenly felt as if they had fallen into a cold abyss, and a chill emerged. Be careful, otherwise we will be in trouble if we wake it up. Lu Manglan, who covered Xiao Gui with her small hands, said cautiously. This guy, such a tyrannical power. Xiao Gui knew that this spirit beast's strength was extremely tyrannical, and immediately said. This guy is called the Ice Demon Swordsman. It is said that he has the same form as us humans, and can form such a rocky state to protect himself when he is asleep. His intelligence is quite low, and he only uses some swordsmanship and ice-type fighting spirit, but even so, it has the strength of the 4-star Dozian early stage. Lu Manglan said with her eyes moving. By the way, the treasure you said? After a while, he looked away from the quiet sleeping guy and asked. As soon as Xiao Gui finished speaking, he suddenly saw a dazzling milky white light slowly emerging hundreds of meters below the lake that seemed to be frozen in ice. This video will end here.